We are quite blessed. This morning, we are certainly quite blessed to have gracing us with her presence and mainstream radio for the first time. And we want to applaud us here at State of the Nation Hot 102 for capping this prize. We will be having one of the youngest center, the bright, the brilliant, the articulate, and certainly vivacious Kerensia Morrison. And indeed, as I said before, one of the youngest senators in the land of Jamaica. Let us go straight to the phone line as we welcome our guest, Government Senator Kerensia Morrison. Hi, Kerensia. How are you doing?
Hi, Conrad. How are you? Thank you so much, and good morning, Jamaica. Conrad, what a welcome. You are really setting me up this morning, but I'm well able, fit for the task, and happy to comment on this issue.
I tell you this much, Kerensia. I could do you no less justice, because indeed, what I said about you, I'm speaking from my heart. I think that you're quite a fit for the Senate, and indeed, Jamaica is better off for a person like you being a part of our Senate. That said, Kerensia, we have been witnessing a wave, a flurry of comments and social media immediately after Miss Lisa Hanna, former Minister of Culture put this out and called for the ban of a VYBZ Kartel music. Now, Kerensia, you in the Senate, you basically speak on these topics. And off the bat, what is your immediate take? What's your opening salvo on this? A call for the ban of a VYBZ Kartel music.
My first question is this. To what end are we having this ban? Why are we calling for the ban? And what would this ban achieve? That's the very first question that I ask. If it is, the intention is to bring to our young people a sense of awareness, restoring them that sense of civic pride and morals and values and attitudes. Banning a cartel, will this prevent it? What caused the VYBZ Kartel to rise to prominence in the first place? What is it that is causing our young people to seek solace in the music of VYBZ Kartel? Until when we can answer that, we should not respond by way of a knee-jerk reaction. We are going to run to ban VYBZ Kartel's music. In fact, I believe that all music of a violent nature, music of a lewd and vulgar nature, they should not be on the airwaves in the first place. Let me issue that very clearly. But I'm certain that VYBZ Kartel, Teacher, has done numerous songs that are of positive influence, positive bearing. Conrad, may I just go on to say?
Go ahead.
I am a fan of dancehall music. I love dancehall music.
But let me stop you right there. You said you're a fan of dancehall music. Do you have any particular likeness for VYBZ Kartel music?
I appreciate VYBZ Kartel's music. I do. As I do other entertainers, as I do other practitioners, and as I do other forms of music. I listen to all forms of music, and that is why I can speak from this position. There are many critics who have never once been to the dance hall. They have never once been to a party. They have never really studied VYBZ Kartel's music.
No, Senator Morrison. Persons who are looking at you, or listening to you, would be saying, here we are. A woman who is walking in the halls of Parliament is coming on public radio and State of the Nation with Conrad O'Brien this morning and saying that, listen, I support a VYBZ Kartel and his music should not be banned after he has committed one of the most heinous acts, and this is not just a charge, but he has been convicted for murder, for, as they said, chop up a man, fine.
Okay. The way in which I would argue such a position, what is it that Jamaicans want to see from their representatives? What is it that Jamaicans want to hear from politicians? I believe that Jamaicans are tired of the partisan squabbles. Jamaicans are tired of the hypocrisy. Jamaicans want to hear from us, the people at the helm, sounding really interested and in touch with the issues that affect them. And the issue of VYBZ Kartel, the issue of dancehall music is something that is relevant. It is something that is relatable. It is something that impacts the life of Jamaicans positively and negatively. And therefore, as a member of the Senate, this is not something that I could ever ignore.
You speak rather passionately, Senator Morrison, and which allow me to ask you this question. Do you think that we have a lot of quote-unquote uptowners who are closet VYBZ Kartel supporters?
I am so happy that you have asked that question. VYBZ Kartel music can be described as a stimulant, an aphrodisiac. He is that devil that is loved.
Wow.
He is the voice of our dark side and dark desire. And people are drawn to him like a moth to a flame. He has a distinctive and compelling voice. He is a maestro at lyrical composition. He is dynamic, and believe me, hate him in public or love him in private. We need to find out what gives teacher this appeal. We need to ask ourselves the question, why is it that after being incarcerated, he is still relevant? Have you ever been to a Strictly Abbey party? Have you ever been to one, Conrad?
We're getting there. So, keep your powder dry right here. Remember that you're creating so much wave that I gather someone is on the phone line that want to pose a question to you. Will you be averse to accept that call?
No.
Can we go ahead? Come in, caller. Put through the caller, my technical operator. Caller?
Yeah, hello. You know, sir, believe me. Hello?
Yes, sir.
You know, sir, by listening to the reason with you and sister, you know what, sir, believe me, I win me fly well left Jamaica.
Why would you say that?
Yeah, man, because if it is the way we keep bashing each other. Listen to me, let me tell you something. The youth, when they go, which school you used to go? Calabar, don't it? And I don't know if he did finish Calabar High, but if the government did see that potential in him, I know say he's a bright fellow, why them never come in, step in and curve him?
Good, but you have a question, because you listen to what the senator is saying.
You know what, Sky, somebody has devil and them thing, they don't like.
No. You need to listen to what she's saying, because indeed.
Why we dig up this VYBZ Kartel thing? So the youth award over the weekend?
That's a part of it, but Senator.
But brethren, listen what me
Senator
say.
Morrison.
The youth of the music. To me, to my understanding. Them same commit a crime and him get sentenced seat. So now we make him go in sentence then and stop bash him.
Well, all right, caller. Thanks for your input. Let us allow the senator to respond.
I don't like it.
All right.
And there's a lot of people out there do whole heap of slackness too, and they sweep under the carpet.
Listen. At the end of the discussion,
I know him alone in the music industry charged with murder. I know him alone. A very bright person charged with them something that's neither.
All right. We get your point. Thank you very much for the input. Thank you. All right. That's a caller who seems to be very passionate about his views as it relates to VYBZ Kartel. Senator Morrison, go ahead, man.
Yes. Right. And I agree with the caller. I agree with the caller in parts, because VYBZ Kartel to me is now being singled out as this person who is to be blamed for what is happening. There are numerous DJs who are equally guilty of spurning this kind of music.
But in all of what you're saying, Senator,
Yes.
Could you, and you were asking the question if I've ever been to an Addy party. Would you like to share something about an Addy party? Have you yourself gone to an Addy party?
Oh, yes.
Really?
I have been there.
And what is...
Right. And the thing is, this is at the Addy party, only Kartel's music is played. Strictly Kartel's music. Venues overflow with patrons, many of whom are from the highest echelon of society. So many of those who are there criticizing Kartel, they actually love Kartel in private.
What? So you would think that Miss Hannah is basically out there and a limb and will not be able to get a lot of traction on this call that she's making?
No, I would never say that Miss Hannah is not going to be getting traction. Certainly not. Because there are individuals who feel as strongly and as passionately as Miss Hannah does. My position is this. VYBZ KARTEL has done many positive songs. Play those songs as you would any other entertainer.
Good. Are you coming out here, Senator? And certainly we're very happy to have you here giving this opening salvo. But you coming out here as a senator, a young, brilliant, a bright senator, one of the finest in the Senate in Jamaica today. And you know, in a sense, one could say actually supporting the playing of a cartel song. Are you not afraid of being bashed and getting certain amount of backlash from this, you know, putting forward of your views here?
What I'm saying, Conrad, and let us make it very clear, I do not think that we should go out there and exercise prejudice against Kartel in the same way that we would play good, clean music from any other entertainer. We should also play VYBZ KARTEL. He has done positive songs. Miss Hannah was said to quote him at some point last year when she was trying to get her message across to young people. And the song was, some said, pull up your pants and put it on your waist and tuck in your shirt and don't bleach your face. In a my days that me a meditate. So me study for the test, me no procrastinate. School youth on the pants too tight. This is a no dancing dynamite. Make your mother proud. You know see how she fight. School girl listen teacher talk. On no skirt, nothing make short. Don't break on no mother heart. Would you want to ban this?
But you know, Kerensia, you need a producer, man. But listen, so are you saying that by virtue of the fact that Miss Hannah had gone there last year to use it as a quote, you think that there's some amount of double standard here on her part?
There could be some amount of double standard here. You see, many of us, you know, when we go on a campaign stage, we like to pull these songs. When we look at a Buju Banton who is incarcerated, would you want to ban this when Mama spend her last and send you go class? Never you ever play.
So in essence, what I'm picking up from you, Senator Morrison, you are saying that we must be able to walk on true gums. At the same time, you're saying that we must be able to walk on true gum at the same time, meaning that we can separate the good from the bad?
We can separate the good from the bad, as we do with many entertainers. And one of the resentments from the school of dancehall is that we are quick to bash dancehall music, but we turn a blind eye to hip hop, soca. We turn a blind eye to rap.
You by way of education and you know, social exposure have gotten yourself a name that has been carved out in the Jamaican society to be at a place that very few of us will reach by being a senator in the Jamaican Parliament. Are you saying that it may very well be because of from whence the dancehall is coming from and where majority of the practitioners, dancehall practitioners, are from the lower echelons of the society. Do you think that is something that really would incorporate persons dealing with dancehall music in that way?
It is possible. It is very possible, because dancehall music is coming from that space where it speaks about the poor, it speaks about the oppressed. How many people want to carry that? So how many people really take time out to listen? I started off by saying, Conrad, that I love dancehall music because it is the voice of the poor and the oppressed. When we think about songs such as Emergency, We Are Suffer Brown Here. When you think of songs like Where You Know About Pressure, I love how dancehall music is able to bring people together because it often discusses what is real to us. It is also humor. It is entertainment. And it does comment on issues of sexuality and is known to be risque and raunchy. And
on that note, Senator, on that note, let us try and let us ask you this question. Is there any particular cartel song that you'd like to hear now as we sort of lower the temperature and bring you back? If you have one, let us hear it and see if our technical operator can come up with it.
The one that I would love to play, I think it is Prison Life, right? Where he vividly describes the experience talking to the Jamaican youths that this is not a place where you want to be.
Let us
this
hear
is
that.
Not a song that I would want to ban. This is the same cartel who we like to blame. Right? The caller did not understand, right, when I said that many of us, we like to see him as the devil who we should blame.
All right, let this queued up now, Senator. Let us hear it. Let us hear this cartel.
Yo, Fatal. Me want go. Me want go. Listen, you can't get a prison. A next man of your girl when you're missing. Stay far from war that a copper and lead. You can't get when you're dead. The food, the bed of concrete. Sunday cleaner and me damn sheet. You can't sleep dead, me a warn you. A pure roach and rat a crawl upon you. When the cage lock, you have to tug it up. In a them place, ya dirty like rubbish truck. Me just a pre-back, happy days memories. When me kids, when me wife, when me Benzes, them place, ya make you know who your friends is. Make you know the real girl, them from the NCs. If you a punk, if you not know the fences. Bad man jailer, beat out your senses. The electric fences and the tall wall. Regular messy, man sit down and start ball. Society, there's no neighbor you can't go. Every day so me just a pray say me want go. Me want go.
Indeed. Just to give you a preview of that song, and certainly, Senator, boy, it seems as if you are truly a student of the teacher.
I listen to the teacher.
Yes.
I listen to dancehall music. Right? And hold on, I am not afraid to say it. I listen to dancehall music.
Yes.
Right? I am coming from the bowels of the poor and the oppressed. So I am not going to separate myself. No, I know what the music represents.
Senator, you're a government senator, but it certainly seems as if you are listening to the words of the former Prime Minister, the most honorable Portia Simpson Miller, with that quotation there.
Hold on a minute. And as you mentioned the words of the former Prime Minister, I want to talk about Prime Minister Andrew Holness. It isn't that what the Prime Minister, right, is concerned about. First of all, the Prime Minister doesn't have a problem with dancehall music at all. He doesn't have a problem with dancehall music. And I support the Prime Minister in his concern that we cannot project into the minds of our children that violence is acceptable. So here we are. While we enjoy dancehall music, while as adults we are free to make our choices, how can we create that filter that will protect our children? We cannot censor the minds of people. An adult will enjoy the freedom of choice. So the question, how can we protect our youth while we choose the form of music that we like?
Senator Morrison, you seems to be up on this one. You persons would say that you are really putting yourself out there and a limb. But what I'm getting from you this morning is that you're speaking from the heart, and you, from where you sit, you think that persons of your ilk must come to the fore and to defend something that has been a big part of our culture.
Conrad, violence and vulgarity in dancehall music did not begin in this dispensation. There are some 80s and 90s mix that can compare to the worst of today's lyrics. We have had this issue for a while. It is an age-old debate. Is dancehall responsible? Is it to be blamed for the challenges that we face in crime and violence? This is something that we have failed to confront as a society.
But what do you...
I do not appreciate the knee-jerk reaction that whenever something goes wrong, we say, let us blame the music. Right?
But what do you make of the fact that people are saying that you have to treat a cartel differently in this case, because not only that there's an allegation that he is charged, but he has been convicted? Do you think that carry any weight further away? Will you put that into consideration in terms of what Lisa Hanna is calling for the band? And also dovetail that into the awards and such the like that he has been chalking up in the Youth Music Award there?
This is something, of course, that we have to take into consideration. Right. This is something that it is a serious issue. It is an issue that impacts society. It is one that we can never overlook, right? I want to congratulate him on getting his award. But the question is, or the issue is this: Kartel, he's already incarcerated, right? Serving time for the crime. Do we think now that it is reasonable to go even further? And even with the clean, positive lyrics that he has put out there, we should ban those. Remove Kartel. Censor him. Wipe him out totally. Do we think that this is reasonable? Do we think that censoring Kartel, do we think that it is going to be effective? Ban him on radio. But we leave our children unsupervised with tablets and cell phones. This is not the 90s where we can turn off radio, lock off TV, take away Walkman and CD player, and the child is disconnected.
Okay.
This is the age of download.
Yes.
So even if we ban him on radio, the thing is that our young people are still going to find a way to feed off this music. So what we are attempting to treat with a knee-jerk reaction is the end result and not the root. And as I said earlier, it is for us to find the root. It's for us to spend more time with our children. It's for us to educate our children so that they will be influenced in a positive way.
You're a lawmaker, Senator. Where do you think that we have sufficient apparatus out there by way of what is on the books already, or we need to revisit anything else to make it more incumbent on parents to offer that level of care that you are discussing for their children, or responsibility rather?
You know, Conrad, you're going to get me in trouble here.
Go ahead.
It is not for want of law why Jamaica is in the problem that it is in. It's about having men and women who are committed to enforcing and obeying these laws. That's what the problem is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, an adult is able, I want to get back to this point, an adult is able to listen to a certain type of music and remains indifferent. Not a child who is impressionable, not a youth who is insecure and unsure, not a youth who is struggling with issues of identity and acceptance. And that is why I can support the Prime Minister in saying that, hey, I don't have a problem with dancehall music, but I am concerned when there is music that would inform my young girl, the young ladies of Jamaica,
and
in a negative way. Music that is going to say to our young men, go out there and chop up and shoot and stab and maim and kill. That's where you would have a problem. And that's where all well-thinking Jamaicans would have a problem. But if there's positive music from VYBZ Kartel, I don't see why this music should not be played.
Senator Kerensia Morrison, the eloquent, very, very, articulate individual you are, and somebody who really think that you can make a difference in the Jamaica landscape. In closing, what would you want Jamaican to take from your presence and this show this morning? Is there any one thing that you would want to leave on the Jamaican people's mind?
Oh, yes. Music is the heartbeat of the people. It is powerful stuff with an intoxicating effect. My dream is that the players in dancehall music will realize the tremendous power that lies in their hands to impact our children and bring about the changes that will see a restoration in our values and attitudes. And I can't leave, Conrad, without saying this. We are blaming Kartel because we have failed to become good parents who spend time with our children and inculcating values and attitudes and civic pride. We blame Kartel when we have stopped sending children to Sunday school and Sabbath school or other religious conduits of worship. And so we are seeing a generation with little conscience. We have failed to train up our children in how they ought to grow, so when they hear negative music, they will not depart from what you teach them.
Absolutely, Senator Morrison. Certainly, I think that anyone listening to you this morning will recognize that there's a depth, there's a deep pool of talent right here
Conrad,
in Jamaica.
Allow me just leave with this.
Yes,
you know what is hurting our children?
Go ahead.
Carelessness and negligence of parents. You know what is hurting our children? Our neighbors, the village that we can no longer trust to raise our children. You know what is hurting our children? An adult who will sit down and have vulgar conversations or even discuss people in a negative way right before their children. Parents have stopped telling picnics to go on about nobody no come to you. What is hurting our children is that we have an adult who will watch movies with language and adult content right in front of our children. What is hurting our children are adult taximen, adult bus drivers who actually play these songs for schoolers. Schoolers actually hand them the CD and then play it. This is something we don't just jump up and talk about ban. This is something that we have to sit and reason with the stakeholders of dancehall music. We need to come to some kind of consensus, because I tell you this, when we saw the trial of Kartel, did you see the crowds that thronged the area? People listen to him. Kartel is dynamic. Kartel is influential. Like him or hate him, we cannot effectively Muslim. They are going to download it. They are going to listen to him. We have to find a way to reach our young people. That's our challenge.
Very well put. The only thing that I would add to what you just said is that we want to say adult pastor, adult policeman, adult politician, and adult generally.
And the list goes on.
Adult generally stay away from our children.
So if we ban Kartel, there are a number of other entertainers. There are a number of other genres of music that we will also need to ban. That's my take on it.
Thank you very much, Senator. And we look forward to have you again and State of the Nation right here on Hot 102 FM with your host, Conrad O'Brien. So take care and have a good one now.
God bless you.
God bless you too. All right, there we have it. Whoa, what an energy, what an energy, what a voice, what a vigor, what a passion. The phone line.